Confabulation.
音の科学者グアム。
So the EMTs, when they arrived on the scene, they said that I was fully asphyxiated, blue in the face, had no heartbeat despite my dad's attempts to resuscitate me. So they started CPR and they had a faint heartbeat, about 41 beats per minute. They rushed me to the hospital and put me on life support. So the doctors came back with their synopsis of my condition. They said that I was without oxygen for 20 to 30 minutes. They said that I'd never walk, never talk again. They went on to say that the best decision would be to donate my organs. But my mom, she didn't want to believe them. She believed that I was still fighting for my life. And so even though everyone else gave up, she still clung to hope. That hope that I would see life again, that I would wake up and not have to rely on those machines. So when it came time to make a decision, she said, "You're going to remove him from the ventilator and then you're going to see the miracle." Now, some other stuff happened, but this was about 4 days after I made that decision. I woke up and I was in pain. So I could feel my mom next to me, and I told her that I was in pain, that I was hurting. She went and got a nurse, and the nurse didn't want to believe her. But when she came, she realized that I was awake, that I was in pain. So she went and got a prescription for, I don't even know what it was, but it kept me sedated. And the next morning, when I woke up, like hospital personnel started coming to the room, and I was just shouting, like it was very incoherent. I was actually speaking in Spanish, and I never spoke Spanish. My mom spoke Spanish, but she thought that was kind of funny, like that was weird. But after I woke up, there was just a battle. I had to learn how to walk, how to talk, how to do even the small things, like putting on my socks, getting changed, brushing my teeth. And I've gone from that to where I am now. I'm running a business online. I'm one of the first coaches in the world to work with the Superconscious, and it's phenomenal work. Just changing lives and full transformation. You know, my goal is to just get this story out to people.
Absolutely. I've definitely checked you out on Clubhouse, and you are amazing. You just take people into an entirely different dimension on so many levels. And there's this healing that you feel. And it's amazing that that you found books to help you on your journey, like the book that you mentioned. What is the name of that book again? The Super Consciousness.
Oh, that's You're Not Broken. So that was my mentor. He actually just published that book. He was the one that introduced me to superconscious work and that certified me to do this work. It was a 9-month program, and I got certified in 5 weeks. So I went all out and just really applied myself to the work. And it's special. It's special work. And I'm in the process of publishing my book. And it kind of takes his work to a higher level. And maybe I'll share that once on Clubhouse one of these days. But yeah.
The your mom is pretty nervy. I mean, she she just told him, "Listen, take him off. This is what you're gonna see." Like, she was what made her so sure?
So she actually went and prayed and she got a vision. In the vision, she saw an angel come down, and I was lying in the bed with a demon over me. And the angel actually wrapped me up in like a white cloud and wrapped me up like a blanket and took me to heaven with him. So that vision gave her the faith to come back and say what she did.
Was your mom always that way where she had visions and that kind of thing?
Uh, I'm not sure if it's always been like that. She was actually trying to become a nun after she graduated from high school. So she was very religious and into like Catholicism. Now it's more of a relationship. I woke up and I started to actually comprehend what was going on. She told me about what she saw in the vision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh, and did you believe did you have this same belief before all these things had happened to you, or did you did it kind of like change after your experience?
So actually, growing up, I remember sitting in a church, and it was a Catholic church, and in that church, I heard them talking about Jesus, about all the things that he suffered when he was on the cross. But even though they were talking about it, they never said that he did it because he loved us, because he sacrificed his life so that we could have life. And after I sat through that service, I didn't want anything to do with God. I thought that if I went to God, that I would have to suffer the way Jesus did. So I went on with my life, and it wasn't until I reached that rock bottom that I started to question it. And that was when I started to build my faith. I started to read the Bible, I started to pray, and yeah, just my entire experience is just built my relationship with the Lord.
So I have met a few people who have uh, had suicidal attempts and who have also described them in a way where they feel like they're actually almost being compelled to do this in a way, or like somehow guided. Or did you have that experience, or was it more of um was it different for you?
Well, I wouldn't say it was guided. Whenever we're being guided, whether it be by the Lord or by just something beyond, it's always going to guide us in a direction that we're supposed to be. But in regards to suicide, I believe that there are demons and that they sometimes persecute us and they lead us to do just unspeakable things that no one would ever think of doing.
And do you believe that someone could have sent this demon to you, or that this was like some type of dark magic that someone kind of, or like a hex or curse that someone had toward you, or do you believe that there was another reason?
So I don't think it was a hex or dark magic. I think it was a result of my own actions. When you're in that space of just alcohol and drinking, drugs, sex, and rock and roll type of stuff, you open yourself up to this demonic oppression.
Mm,
So I think it had more to do with that than the other.
okay. And so also there wasn't, and it was also, it had this guilt over you.
Yeah.
It
That's something that a lot of people deal with. It's this feeling of just tremendous loss, this pain. And like when you're in it, when you're surrounded by it, it's hard to see like anything else. A lot of kids, they face these challenges in their life. And when they're faced with them, it's hard to see beyond them. And that's one of the reasons we have such a high suicide rate among children. It's it's because they don't know how to deal with that. But even adults, when they're in that conflict, it's so hard to see like any future. But when you rise above it, when you rise above the conflict, it's so much clearer where you would like to go.
Yes, and that reminds me of what you said to you when you were on your way to recovery. Mountain, get out of my way.
Yeah,
And that's exactly how it feels. Even worse, probably, with this just huge mountain. Like, how are you supposed to move this? How are you supposed to get past this? Seems almost impossible for people. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting because even as an educator, I see a lot of um, young people moving towards suicidal tendencies more than ever.
yeah.
It's a huge issue. Um, so now I noticed these purple beads that you have on your wrist.
Ah, yeah, those are amethysts.
Amethyst.
Hmm.
Now, I love amethyst. Um, now, why are you wearing those?
Uh, well, I just like them. And even the Bible talks about the kingdom of God and how it's going to be adorned with amethyst.
Wow.
So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I just like him. It's
So
beautiful.
I love him too, actually. So now, can you tell me a little bit about how your life has changed? Like, how has because you mentioned that you also, I mean, your mom spoke Spanish, but you never spoke it. So, but that was just one thing that you came back with. But is there anything else that you came back with? Like, are you able to have visions? Are you able to, or do you have a heightened sense of discernment? Um,
Yeah, with the work that I'm doing, you have to be very in tune with what you're getting, and you have to be very